Meeting her, but she's very, very nice, very kind and humble. Please welcome the comedy styles of Mollie Heckerling.
Yeah!
My ass, just be fucking funny. I know it's weird to go to a show called Latino Laughter and then see the whitest bitch you've ever seen in your life. George asked me to do this show and then he sent me the flyer and I was like, one of these things is not like the other. No, what actually happened was I told him that if he didn't give me a spot, I would do the classic white lady thing and cry and then call the cops on the entire show. I'd be like, there's people laughing and having fun, I feel threatened. This is awesome. And so I haven't been out like a fucking year and a half. It's so great to see your smiling faces, even if it's behind a sneeze guard. Fucking A. I got my fucking second dose of the vaccine a few weeks ago, and I heard that in Toronto they were giving kids free ice cream to get the vaccine. I thought that was really unfair. You know, when I was a kid and a stranger offered me ice cream, all I got was molested. They have it too good. These fucking kids. No, I know like some people are hesitant about the vaccine, and I kind of get that, like for-profit healthcare system and corporations are shady as fuck. And on the other hand, I'm like, well, we don't have polio. That's pretty good, right? Not having polio.
Yeah.
Granted, my legs would be a lot thinner if I did. People would be like, yo, check out that hot bitch in the iron lungs. No, but I also, I heard that like there's an increase in UFO sightings. Like everything's just going to shit like all at the same time. All of the shit, like the world's going crazy. There's an increase in UFO sightings. And I was like, I'll let aliens do whatever butt stuff they want to do. I mean, just get me the fuck out of here. Probe me all day long. I love it. Like, let's go. You'd love it. Out of pride. I'm like, no, fucking probe me, let's go. You can't take the kink out of pride without me wanting to put it somewhere else. You take the kink out of pride, I'm wearing a body harness to a PTA meeting. Fuck you. You'll get something for nothing. I spent too much time on social media because there was nothing else to fucking do. And like social media is great for some things, but also like weird for other stuff because like all these psychological wires get crossed, you know? Like you'll be scrolling through Instagram and see a picture of someone's asshole, and then the caption is like, vote, and it's like, it's like now every time someone looks at your asshole, they're gonna think about like Joe Biden. Why don't you brand yourself that way? Or Donald Trump, you know, the resemblance is uncanny. Man, it's so nice to be out. I was expecting everyone to be so excited after all this that America would just like break out to one massive orgy. That made me a little nervous because I don't think I would be good in an orgy. You know, I'm too ADD. Like I'm bad at multitasking. Are you there yet? I don't know. I've only ever had sex with one other person, and even that's too many sometimes. Like, is anyone else in here ADD? I'm so ADD, I'll forget to pee. I'll go 5 days without peeing, and yet I'm up 20 times a night to use the bathroom. Makes no sense. So, yeah, that's why I would be bad in an orgy. A bit of a digression there. Talking during sex, too. It's hard for me to talk during sex. I get distracted. Like I was having sex with my boyfriend one night and he goes, talk to me. And I was like, oh shit, what do I say? You know, because I'm not used to having conversations with people who are behind me. It was fine, I talked about Deadpool. He came in like 2 seconds. If you want to make a straight man come, just say Ryan Reynolds. He'll come so hard he'll look like Robert De Niro. So Ryan Reynolds. have a good thing going. He's like a really cool guy. He's a dungeon master. Not like BDSM, like he plays Dungeons and Dragons. He's a dungeon master. He's like a welcome change for my ex-boyfriend, because my ex-boyfriend's like way older than me. I used to date like older guys. My ex-boyfriend is so old he still stalks me in person. Who the fuck does that? Most people go to Instagram to have a wank. He's like, in my day we drove 15 miles in the snow just to look at the light through your window. But yeah, my boyfriend and I have been together for like 8 years now. We have 2 kids. We fucked without condoms. We're not married though. But like my feeling is like I'll have a couple kids with you, but I don't think I can commit to a divorce right now. It's an awfully big step. I think the relationships that actually did the best during the pandemic were the ones that were either so great or like so shitty to start with that there was just nowhere else to go, you know what I mean? And there's like a comfort and a vindication to that, to look out the window as the world crumbles and be like, aha, see, my brand of misery is the most secure. What? I'm in the right choice. I mean, it is, I love him, but I feel like any relationship, no matter how great it starts, always devolves to like the same thing. You start to bicker about the dumbest shit in the world, you know what I mean? Like the other day he goes, you drank out of my glass. Like it's a big fucking deal. You've eaten my ass and you won't share a glass with me? I mean, it's fair, he doesn't know where my mouth has been. We had a baby during the pandemic too. That was fucking crazy. I had a home birth during the pandemic. And like having a home birth during a pandemic feels very dramatic in like a Little Women, Gone with the Wind, you know, old-timey white bitch kind of way. You know? You're just like laying at home, screaming. Your closest relative is like, scream all you want, Melly, no one will hear you. The doula, it was really wild. The doula was like, it helps if you hum low tones, it helps. So the whole time I was just like, ooh. Like a sad whale, just and then she goes, it also helps if you go, boo. And I was like, oh, okay, boo. So I went from sad whale to woman sitting on a Sibian. The baby came out fine, and then the midwife snapped a photo of me afterwards. And you always think like a pregnancy photo is supposed to be like this beautiful earth mother, sort of serene moment where you look like a forest nymph or some shit. I did not look like that. I looked like fat and wet with my pale skin and my pointy nose and my stringy hair. You know what? Does anyone remember the Danny DeVito death scene in Batman Returns? Is fun because you get to share with them all the things that you loved as a child, you know, but you see it differently because you're an adult now. Like, we were watching The Wizard of Oz, and it occurred to me that Glinda knew the whole time that Dorothy had the power to get home, and that bitch said nothing about it. Good witch, my fucking cunt. I would have been so mad. I would have been like, you pink bitch. You pink bubble bitch. Did you not see everything we just went through? They ripped my friend's legs off, they threw them over there, they ripped his dick off, they threw it over there. I'm pretty sure I'm addicted to heroin now, thanks to you. Poppies are heroin. Honestly, I would have clicked my heels 3 times and shoved my foot up her ass. We live with my family. My grandma lives with us. Living with your grandparents is weird because like you hear all these stories that you never heard as a kid. Like all the skeletons in the closet just kept dancing on out. Like she told me that her mother was part of a family with 14 kids. And 3 of those kids were triplets, which was rare back then. So the mother sold the triplets to the circus, and they died. I thought that was kind of hilarious. Only because it makes you reevaluate what makes a shitty parent, you know? Like the next time I'm sitting around thinking like, oh, my parents were such narcissists. It's like, they didn't sell you to the fucking circus. My older one is 6. She has a great memory, but only for all the shit I've ever done wrong. I took her to the park once, and I forgot her shovel and pail, and ever since then, it's hey, Mommy, remember that time you forgot my shovel and pail? It was 3 fucking years ago. Like, she's 6, that's half her lifespan. How the fuck does she remember that? I was like, yes, I did forget your shovel and pail, but you know what I didn't do? Sell you to the circus. These fucking kids. You don't know how good they are. But I was nervous before having kids, you know, because like you want to do everything right. New moms, you put so much pressure on yourself to like be perfect. I was reading all the baby books. And there was this one book that recommended that if your infant is fussy, you can put the baby in a bassinet, put the bassinet on top of a dryer, turn the dryer on, and let the dryer rock your kid to sleep. And then in big letters it says, do not leave child unattended on top of dryer. And you know they had to put that in there because someone actually did it. So now my feeling is if you have a kid and you haven't killed it or fucked it, you're doing a pretty good job. Someone's like, ooh, maybe our child services. But I have a friend who is very publicly and hilariously having a nervous breakdown on Instagram because she's 35 and not married. And it's only funny because she's being such a bitch to everyone else that she knows that has anything remotely resembling a family. Wow. And it's also funny because she does calligraphy, so she writes these really passive-aggressive, beautiful, flowing things that are clearly directed at one person. Like, you know when somebody posts something on social media that's intended for only one person and you're like, you know the rest of us can see you. And also she posts like all these photos of like wedding gowns and engagement rings. It's like nothing gets a guy hotter than a fucking full-blown Cinderella complex. Gives him a nice big chub. But like, it makes me mad because it's sort of like, you know, you can't just want to get married for the sake of it. The love has to be there. Otherwise the whole thing falls apart. And women, you know, I love family, but also women are conditioned to think that all we're supposed to do is be a sex object, get married, and have kids. And there's a disillusionment that comes with fulfilling those goals. And I'll tell you, one time it really hit me was when I was at the kids museum, and I saw this young hot mom, like, you know, gorgeous young woman. And I have to do this because it's gonna get the point across. I can't like describe it. So she's leaning against a wall, sitting on the floor, just like this, just staring off, and like, shrieking kids surrounding her, just probably wondering what series of fucks brought her to this point. You know what it reminded me of? Do you remember that old rehab commercial, like Promises or Passages or some other shit that doesn't work? She looked like that, like eye makeup smudged, just hair tousled, just... She needed rehab from life. And that shit is so real. So in my mind, when I think of that, I was like, that's what's waiting for you, Jenna. Just fucking disillusionment. And a guy who will lick your beehole and not share his fucking glass, and some shrieking ass kids that you can't even sell to the fucking circus. You guys are beautiful. I love you